Hi everybody, my name is Ray, and I'm at the Bridgewater Commons Mall in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Now this tour is going to be a little bit different from my usual mall tours. This mall is a little bit special to me. This is the mall I grew up with. I've spent a lot of time here over the years. So I kind of wanted to take you a walk around the mall, show you what it looks like here in 2021, but I also want to share with you some of the memories I have with it. Things that have changed over the years, things I remember, some of the old school mall stores that aren't here anymore. So come with me. So this is the outside of the Macy's, and it has this really nice color scheme. You got this sandstone colored brick with that sort of teal mirrored glass panes there. Kind of an old school design, really cool. Hasn't changed much since it opened up. And over here you can see the rest of the mall, sort of a red brick pattern, and it still has that cool teal green color to the roof. Pretty cool. Right there is the Lord & Taylor, which is no longer open, unfortunately. So the main entrance to the mall is this one right here with this lovely glass vestibule. Very attractive looking, very modern and cool. Now this was not original to the mall. This was part of the remodel, which happened in, I think, 2008. So they have a Mexican restaurant named Uncle Julio's, and this just recently opened up past year, I believe. Used to be a place called McCormick and Schmick's, which was a very expensive seafood restaurant. And they have a Cheesecake Factory, which is a great place. I love Cheesecake Factory. And here we are in the center court of the mall, and this is where they would have, you know, meetings with Santa or the Easter Bunny. And up until the 2008 remodel, right here was a large glass elevator, and it was really pretty, but they took it out, which I can kind of understand because it didn't really see a lot of use. But I remember being a kid, and right here at the base of it, they used to have this giant animatronic teddy bear. It was this big white teddy bear, and it would sit there and it would move and it would sing Christmas songs. Does anybody remember that or have any pictures of that or any pictures of this elevator? Please let me know. I would love to see them. But just, you know, you can look around here and you can just see how just open this mall is and how expansive it is and just how nice it is with all the nice plants. You know, the floor, it still has some color to it. It's not just completely stark white like most malls are nowadays. So I love coming here. This is a really beautiful mall, really nice mall, good for actually doing shopping and not just hanging out. Right here we have a crepe stand. You know, I've never had a crepe. Been coming here a long time, never actually gotten one from here. Maybe it's time I start. And just look at these mall plants. I don't know of any other mall that I've been to that has such great plants as this one. All kinds of nice palms, just really beautiful. Really take good care of them here. Now, up until a few months ago, this store right here was Godiva Chocolates, another victim of the pandemic. So now we have a Vera Bradley right here, and this AT&T used to be a Sharper Image store. Does anybody remember that one? Used to be able to come in, try out all these gadgets. Now, when I was a teenager, they wouldn't let me in here because I wasn't over 18, and it always bothered me. But eventually I was able to go in and play with all the stuff before it closed. So they have places like this where you can come, you can get some sort of pottery and paint it yourself. I've done this before. It's actually a lot of fun. Right over here we have Go, calendars, toys and games, which seem to be popping up in every vacant mall that I see. But, you know, this is a fun store. I actually like it. So now here I am on the bottom floor, and it's not very busy. It is a weekday. I am here in the middle of the day. So usually this mall is pretty busy. I know it doesn't look it right now. Now right here on the left, we can see this big space here. I forget the name of this store. It was a girls' cosmetics store. And they built it here. They built this big elaborate storefront with all the different colors here. And it did not last very long. And they have not been able to fill this. So it has just been sitting here. Now the bottom floor is the least busiest floor out of everything here. So I can kind of see why they've struggled to fill this space here. And one thing that's nice about this mall is it's still very visually appealing. We got a lot of nice plants here, and we got these cool lamp posts all throughout the mall. I really like them. And now in this space here, used to be a bookstore called Brentano's back in the 90s. Does anybody else remember Brentano's? I think it was featured on Seinfeld. But yeah, that was what was right here in this space. So now this mall has always been a very busy mall, a very lively mall. It is by no means a dead mall. But like many malls in the area, it's lost Lord & Taylor. And this is the first time in the history of this mall that it has been sitting without an open anchor, without an anchor open. Have we seen anything? I don't think so. So now this is a mall I'm not really worried about the future of, but I don't know what they're gonna do with a vacant anchor. I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to fill it. So we got a Lego store here, which everybody loves, kids and adults. We have this store Lolly and Pops, which is a really nice candy store, but a couple other locations in the area have closed down. This one's still going. Look inside to see that big old gold gummy bear. Now, does anybody remember a store called The Nature Company? I think I remember The Nature Company being around this spot in the mall. There's a store you could go buy like toys, and you could get like rocks and minerals and all kinds of cool stuff, and it was all related to nature. It was one of my favorite stores growing up. I can't find any pictures online of that, but I loved that place. Does anybody else remember The Nature Company? That was a cool store. So now this store used to be Brookstone, which was a great store, all kinds of cool gadgets in it, a lot like Sharper Image. This one lasted a lot longer than Sharper Image did, but it's gone. So now this big vacant space right here was the Microsoft store, which closed just fairly recently. I'm not sure why Microsoft really needed their own store. I guess it was just kind of made to compete with the Apple mall stores, which are always busy, even in this mall. And we can also see here a number of vacant stores in a row, which is not a good sign, and it's very unusual for this mall, which has almost always been at full occupancy ever since it's been open, ever since I've been coming here. I guess just COVID-19 has hit this mall hard. Not as hard as some other malls, but it's a noticeable difference that I wouldn't expect from a mall like this, which is almost always busy, almost always full. But you can just see right here, almost four stores in a row closed. So where this Zumiez is right now used to be a Suncoast Video. I remember going there all the time as a kid and buying all kinds of VHS tapes. Used to love that store. Now there actually is a Suncoast Video still open, and I have a video about that. You should definitely check that out. Right here, this place called Hype World. That used to be a GameStop up until just a few months ago, and now they reopened it as a sneaker shop. And so now here we have a Spencer Gifts, and this has got to be, I think, the third time I've seen a Spencer Gifts open here. It's opened and closed and reopened, I think, 3 or 4 different times since the mall opened, in my memory of coming here. Your selection of stores at this mall, it's nothing too out of the ordinary from your usual mall stores, but it's nice. Everything here, very clean, very well taken care of. And just the mall, it just feels warm and welcoming. So many malls nowadays, they come across as cold, but I like this mall. It's nice to come here. So I wanted to come inside the Macy's and just show you this really amazing skylight with all these mirrored accents on it. Now this is original to the mall, and it was built really beautiful, really cool. So now here we are at the food court, which is very lovely, very nice, lots of good food options. Now this was redone in 2008, I believe, so this is not original to the mall, but I remember coming to the original one and it just being a sea of glittering neon. It was really amazing back in the day. I really miss it. So now the food court used to extend a lot further back. Right here where we see Skechers and Hollister used to be all food court, and there used to be places called Roly Boly, which they would make a stromboli for you. You would ask for like whatever you wanted in it, they would roll it up, bake it, you'd get your own custom Roly Boly. Does anybody remember that? And there used to be hot dog on a stick, which was great. All kinds of cool places that aren't here anymore. I remember there's a smoothie place, and just the overall look of the food court was really amazing. Just lots of neon lights. It was really cool. And right about here where the Hollister now is was Sam Goody. I know we all remember Sam Goody and we all love it. So I want to put the call out. If anybody has any old photos of the mall food court or any old photos of the mall at all, please share them with me. I would love to see them. So they have a Disney store at this mall, which is a store I see at a lot of malls, and it always seems to be doing pretty well. But who here remembers the Warner Brothers Studio store? It was like the Disney store, but for Looney Tunes characters. And right outside the door, you had a really big statue of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. And then right here, they would have a statue of the Tasmanian Devil holding up one of these planters ready to throw it at you. It was really cool. I miss that store a lot. Right here we have another look at the closed Lord & Taylor. And this mall has always been doing well, but I don't know what they're going to put here. I got to come up with something. Hope it's something good. So other than Macy's, the only other open anchor is the Bloomingdale's. And another really popular store here is the Uniqlo, which I love Uniqlo. I could do a lot of my shopping there, and ever since they opened up this one at this mall, I've been coming here a lot more often. Now, this used to be a Walden Books when I was a kid, and I used to love coming here and looking at all the books. And it's hard to imagine now, but there used to be a space underneath this escalator, which was actually a shop. It was like a small shop, and it was almost like a Spencer Gifts selling like little novelty things. It wasn't there for very long. It was only there in like, I think, the early 90s. And right there, the other part of the Uniqlo, that used to be a bakery kiosk that used to sell like croissants and things, and I used to love getting cheese croissants there when I was a kid. So right here on the other side, sort of this second half of the Uniqlo, this used to be a CVS pharmacy, which was kind of out of place at the mall. And right over here on this side, we used to have KB Toys. Now, if you're a kid in the 90s, you remember KB Toys, and you loved it, you missed it. Nothing quite like that here anymore. And just right here where I think about the Free People was, I think that was a store called The Wall, which was a record store. It later changed into an FYE, and then it closed up altogether. You know, one thing I talk about pretty frequently is how malls nowadays, they're not warm, they're not inviting. You know, a lot of them are just stark white. You know, they feel like you're at the doctor's office. But this place, it's still nice. It still has color. It's nice to be in the mall, you know? You got this nice tile here. You got all these like pink tones. You got this green marble. You got all these really nice, healthy looking mall plants. It feels like a mall should, but still modern, not out of date, you know? That's one of the reasons why I like coming here so much. It hasn't been what they often call Simonized, which is when Simon takes over these malls, they take all the color out of them, everything fun, everything nice, and it's just not pleasant to go to them. But this one still has it. Here we are on the top floor of the mall. Got a lot of nice natural light. We also got these cool lamppost light fixtures, which are original. I really love them. And just this mall, it's a 3-story mall, so there's a lot here, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel like you're doing a whole lot of walking. You can see the whole mall in the course of an hour or two, and you won't feel exhausted like you would at some malls. And this is just a cool little feature, this sort of spiral staircase here. It's the only real staircase in the mall, so I'm not sure why they chose to build this one here when everything else is an escalator, but it looks cool. It's been here ever since the mall opened. And so this store, Typo, it's a relatively new store at the mall. Haven't seen too many new stores open up, what with business being kind of struggling the past year, but this is a newer store, so hopefully in the future some of these empty stores have some new businesses moving into them. So now they have an AMC dine-in theater here. It used to be a regular AMC movie theater, and I remember coming here and seeing all kinds of great movies growing up. Ever since they turned it into the dine-in theater, I never really went, just because that sort of thing just doesn't really interest me all that much. But yeah, I remember there used to be a little arcade here. They used to have like DDR and Cruisin' USA and all these other arcade games. I would come here with my friends and we would play arcade games and we would go see movies. We had a lot of good times there. So now one thing I think most people ignore when they come into this mall is this incredible mural here. It's called the Three Sisters, and it represents the 3 staple crops of the Lenape tribe Indians who are native to New Jersey. And it's divided up into 4 panels, each one representing a different season. Yeah, and so there's also hidden images in this mural. So let's go take a look at it and see which ones we can find. So this first panel, we have the 3 sisters in springtime. And I think that's supposed to be a knobbed whelk, the official state seashell. I'm not sure if that's what that is or not. We got some butterflies here. We got the state bird, the goldfinch. I believe that's what that's supposed to be. Not sure what these flowers are. I don't know if those are a state flower or not. But we got the bunny rabbit and the bird for Easter. And up here, we got the bumblebee. And let's take a look at this panel representing summer. We got Mother's Day. We got George Washington and his army, who, you know, moved all throughout New Jersey during the Revolutionary War. And we have the panel for autumn. And if you look at their hair, it's kind of like autumn leaves. Pretty cool. We got like little jack-o'-lanterns on their bags right here. And then right over here, we have the winter panel. And if you look right here, we got Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. I'm not sure what Abe Lincoln has to do with New Jersey, but he's here anyway. This is just a beautiful mural. It's really cool, and I always go on about how malls just don't feature art and just interesting designs, decor, but here we have this beautiful mural, and I'm glad I can come here and show it off to you. So I think that's where we're gonna wrap up this tour. I know I tried something a little different with this video, tried to share some personal memories. Hope you like this video. My name is Ray, my channel is Ray Out There. If you like this video, please hit subscribe to join me on my adventures in the future. Thank you for watching.